and welcome to Crimson Rain. This is my review of 1,000 Autumns, Qian Qiu. 1,000 Autumns, or Qian Qiu, is a Chinese web novel written by Meng Shishu and published on JJWXC between 2015 and 2016. 1,000 Autumns tells the story of Qian Qiu, sect leader of the #1 Taoist sect under the heavens, Mount Shandu. At the beginning of the story, Qian Qiu falls off a cliff after being challenged to a duel by one of the great martial artists of the time. He is found barely clinging to life by Yan Wushi, leader of a demonic sect. Yan Wushi decides to save Qian Qiu and try to turn him evil for his own entertainment. The rest of the novel is the story of Qian Qiu's journey to recovery and Yan Wushi's efforts to destroy his good character. Interwoven in this story is political intrigue and the unraveling of the reason Qian Qiu fell off the cliff to begin with. This part of the review won't have any spoilers. The writing style. I really loved the writing style of the novel as it was translated. The author's use of evocative language, poetry, and subtle metaphor really helped to flesh out the world and the characters and made for an intriguing read. I appreciated her use of imagery, especially during the martial arts fighting scenes, where the author describes in detail each move and how it is performed, giving us some insight into the practice of martial arts in the novel and the differences in the characters' styles and intent. While this was beautifully done and gave the fighting some depth, I did find that it tended to slow down the action in some places. However, overall, I would say the writing was really good and really helped to bring to life the fantasy wuxia world. The plot. The plot is based on historical events in ancient China, which lends a rich backstory to the novel. Power plays and political moves were intriguingly written and well handled by the author. The characters that are based on historical figures were well fleshed out and felt real. There were also some grey characters, which were interesting to read about, and I liked seeing the author's take on the rationale and motives behind documented historical events. There was also really good integration of Taoist practices and philosophies, even in a fantasy setting, and I truly loved the descriptions of the spiritual element of refining and improving martial arts. I also found the differences between Taoism, Buddhism, and Confucianism, as laid out in the novel, very interesting, and I liked seeing these differences reflected in the characters' martial art styles and their temperament. Although the novel has some heart-wrenching moments, it isn't too full of angst. The novel overall is warm and comforting and gives you introspection into your own life, moral beliefs, and choices. The story arcs were well-paced and fulfilling, and the tension for the last arc was expertly built up. It had me racing through the last few chapters just to find out what happens next. The love story. The love story or romantic plotline in this novel is one of my favorite aspects. There are some instances that could read as problematic, where the love interest is being manipulative or abusive, but he is called out for it by the protagonist, and the way that these moments play out aren't romanticized by the author or the writing. In the end, the main couple and their interactions are adorable. I like that not everything about their relationship is spelled out for you. In this romance, actions speak louder than words. Onto my favorite characters. Qian Qiu. I love his strong sense of morality and that he never wavered in his kindness even after he suffered through so much. He was always brave, but throughout the novel, he learned to also stand up for himself, and he was able to earn the respect of others rather than having that respect handed to him due to his position. Qian Qiu's character arc is one of the most satisfying character arcs that I've read in a long time. Another one of my favorite characters is Shiwu. Shiwu was really cute and an adorable little angel. I had a huge smile on my face whenever he appeared in a chapter. One thing that I really loved about this novel is that there were several strong female characters, which you don't often see in a Danmei novel. The discrimination faced by the female members of the patriarchal, feudalistic world was addressed, but the characters were not painted as saints, nor were they demonized, and they fought through this discrimination, commanding presence and respect in their own right. Bairong in particular was delightful. I'm not sure if there's a live action planned, but I would love to see her brought to life and also to see who they would pick to play her. I also found Chen Gong to be a really interesting character, especially as a foil to Qian Qiu. All in all, I felt that this web novel was healing and warm, like drinking a cup of hot chocolate on a snowy winter's day. I really enjoyed it and I recommend it to any fans of the genre. Qian Qiu is definitely one of my favorite web novel characters of all time. Before we get to the spoilers, I'd just like to say that I'd like to do more reviews of novels that I've read and also get your opinions on good novels that you've read. So please let me know if you've enjoyed this review and if you'd like to see more reviews like this. Also, let me know what novels you think I should check out next. Okay, on to the spoilers. Yan Wushu's betrayal. I did not expect this, and it came out of nowhere. I kept thinking that he was going to come back and save Qian Qiu and that it was just a test or something like that, but he didn't. I felt as betrayed as Qian Qiu did, and I think it took me as long as it took him to forgive Yan Wushu for it. I do think that his redemption was handled quite well and that Qian Qiu didn't allow him to just be forgiven very easily. I think he did earn it, but that betrayal really stuck with me. The other one that I also didn't expect, but it was quite early in the novel, so it wasn't a huge surprise, is that Ui poisoned Qian Qiu because he just seemed like the least likely person to have done it, and he was just so unapologetic about it. That's what I really hated. I mean, what if Qian Qiu died? Didn't he care? I know he said he was confident that he'd survive, but I mean, he barely survived. So there was a possibility that he could have died. But I guess Ui just didn't care about it. Okay, the novel's title. This is probably just me, but I, for some reason, expected there to be a wait of 1,000 years. You know, I'm currently reading Tianguan Sifu on my channel, and that has a wait, spoilers, it has a wait of 800 years between the characters. So 1,000 years didn't seem, that much more. And for some reason I thought that because it says 1,000 years in the title, that they were actually going to wait 1,000 years. And I kept waiting for some sort of time jump or some time when they were apart, and it never happened. And it's only after I finished the novel and, I did some research that I found out, it's actually an idiom. And it was meant to show that Qian Qiu is eternally moral and kind and a good person, and 1,000 autumns is just supposed to represent a long period of time. So he's consistently that kind of person. Even after 1,000 autumns, he's still going to be the same person that we know and love. I also found it really funny that every character who came in contact with him, basically every character, was either in love with him or lusted after him. It was really funny, especially because he is so uninterested in it. But I get it. I guess I'm in love with him too. So I guess it happens to all of us. Ooh, I also really liked the last scene. I thought it was really sweet and touching. I do think we needed the extra chapters just to flesh out the more romantic side of their relationship a bit more. But I like that it wasn't that Qian Qiu just forgave Yan Wushu and just fell in love instantly. I think it was true to his character to have it be a slow realization. Those are all the spoilers I really wanted to talk about. If you've also read the novel and you loved it, please let me know in the comments and tell me which parts you liked and who your favorite characters were. Just please, if there are spoilers, just put a little spoiler warning for anyone who's going to read it. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.